lapel pin fascism. Marks and Spencer's has ordered its members to actually wear a lapel to say who they are. Not with their names, but with he, him, she, her, they, them. What's it all about? We've got Kevin O'Sullivan and we've got JJ, of course, who's here from Talk Radio's entertainment division. We're going to find out exactly what is going on. Kevin, you got 30 seconds to kick me off on why this ridiculous pronoun fascism has to stop.
Well, technically at Marks and Spencer's, it is optional. So you can wear these pronoun badges if you want, which is to instruct customers and your other colleagues exactly how you should address them. He, she, ze, it, what, whatever, and as you quite rightly say, Mike, this is a form of fascism, and you're supposed to obey these instructions. Otherwise, presumably you're guilty of a hate crime or something like that. Well, I say, yeah, sure. By all means, put a pronoun badge on saying, address me as Z, but at the same time, I have the right not to. And what slightly worries me about this new wave of talking to each other is older people. Marks and Spencer's customers are not exactly in the first flush of youth, usually. They're usually about 95 years old. They won't even understand all this. And before you know where they are, they'll take some non-binary shop assistant, call them she or he, and probably end up in big trouble getting kicked out of the store. So in that sense, it's a kind of bullying as well. So by all means, tell me what you want me to address you as. I personally will go along with it. If you want to be called Z, I'll call you Z. But if other people don't want to, that's their right as well. Why are we getting all caught up?
You're going on too long now, far too long. That's enough. You keep quiet. I've had enough of that. JJ, tell us the opposite side of the coin. What's your pronoun, JJ?
Well, my pronoun is he, okay? Now look, old man Kevin, if he has a problem with addressing people as they wish to be addressed,
didn't say that.
That's his own personal problem. Having your pronoun, whether it's in your bio on social media or on your badge at work, it just makes it a nice, easy way to make sure that you don't get misgendered. That is it. People who know me personally will know that I identify as male, so they will call me he. But that does not mean that every person who looks male identifies as male. So it's just it creates a nice, safe environment. And if by chance an M&S customer happens to misgender someone, I'm sure the person who's been misgendered will say, actually, my badge says I prefer to be called she or he or whatever. And that's it. But there's no mistakes, everyone understands what they want to be called. If Kevin doesn't mind, misgendering people, that's up to Kevin. But if I started calling him Dave instead, I'm sure he'd be saying to me, it's not Dave, actually.
Dave, if you want.
It's the same for gender, I'm afraid.
Well, why don't they just put their name on their lapel, and then that way you could call them by their name? I mean, when am I supposed to call you he, JJ? Am I supposed to call you he instead of JJ?
Well, what if my name was Robin?
Robin?
You didn't know if I was male or female.
Well, I would look at you and say, well, you've got a beard, so more than likely you're a bloke, I would say.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I'd say, by calling you a bloke, I would imagine it's because you've got a beard. And if your name's Robin, you can be called Robin. And even if you are identifying as a woman, you still answer to the same name, don't you?
Well, yeah, that's true. You answer to the same name. Whenever you want to be called by name, that is fine. But unfortunately, it's human nature to also say he and she and they. So maybe I'll be talking about one of the workers over there, and I'll say, oh, well, that woman told me it was in this section. And then they say, well, actually, that woman identifies as male. So
what if you identify Kevin as somebody who actually works in a shop and you're supposed to be there to help out the customers instead of being protective of whether you're going to get offended by them?
The thing is that, first of all, JJ, you can do better than that old man stuff. You're not so young yourself. And secondly, I did not say that I want to go around misgendering people. Why don't you listen to what I said? I said that I'm very happy to address anyone by the pronouns that they wish to be addressed, because I want everybody to be happy. Other people may choose not to address them by these stupid pronouns like Z, and so they have the right not to go along with it as well. So if Marks and Spencer's want their staff to go around with a badge on saying, please call me Z, and some old lady goes in and I say, sorry, I don't care if you say you're misbinary, non-binary or whatever, I'm going to call you she or he, that's that person's right as well. It's all about freedom, liberty. We mustn't be fascistic here, JJ. Try to get a bit more liberal about these things.
Yeah, not just any gender, it's a Marks and Spencer's gender. JJ, surely to God, you don't need to put on the end of your email they, them, he, him, ho, hum, he, do you?
Well, no, I don't personally have any of that on my email. I identify as male, and I think people can guess from my name, John James, aka JJ, that I probably am male, so I don't feel the need to have it in there. But if maybe I had a name like Sheila, and I still identified as male, then maybe I'd put it on there. Maybe I would. And it's okay, Kevin. It's completely fine. You're right. People have a choice on whether they want to identify people by the way they want to be identified. But Kev, if you want to get in a taxi tonight and say that your taxi is actually an airplane, that's up to you, mate. People will say that you're crazy.
I didn't say that, JJ. I said I'll
you.
go along with it. Why don't you listen to me, for God's sake? I said I will go along with it. I want to keep people happy. I'm just trying to stick up for the rights of people who do not want to go along with pronoun fascism.
But the point is this, right? You're actually telling me that Kevin gets into a taxi. If it's not a taxi, he has to call it an aeroplane because it might be an aeroplane. But I think you can tell the difference between a taxi and an aeroplane in the same way that you can tell the difference between a he and a she. And if somebody has a name that would denote that, and if you want to be identified as a female even though you're male, change your name to a female name and people will call you that. It's as simple as that, isn't it, JJ?
No, because what if this person is at the beginning of their transition? You know, so whether they're male or female, whether they're cis male or cis female, they may be at the very stage.
I'm not having that. I'm not having cis male. I'm not having that on this show. This is a political punch up. You know, cis male is a made up phrase, which means absolutely nothing.
Also, JJ, if someone's at the beginning of
their you lot have invented cis male to be somebody who was born male and who identifies as male. In other words, male, not cis male. Male.
We're talking about you lot. I mean, people in their late 30s who are pretending to be young.
Yeah, that lot, the entertainment crowd.
We're all young, we're really groovy. We've got a new way of doing things. You old people just don't understand it. No. We're the liberal people. You're being fascistic. And if someone's in transition at the beginning or the end of their transition, I, for one, will totally respect that. I will totally respect what people want to be known as. However, other people won't want to do that, and they have a right not to do it.
Well, listen, here's the thing. I now have to make a judgment. We will hear a bell that will go off now, and I will give my very Solomon-like decision on who made the best argument. And I have to say, in the interest of fairness, I've got to give it to JJ, because I think JJ made a more cogent argument. You know, even though he's older than he pretends to be. Look at O'Sullivan trying to. O'Sullivan, I think the kicker for me was you pretending you wanted everyone to be happy. Everybody knows you hate people. Everybody knows you're a miserable sod, and you don't actually want anyone to be happy.
Wing hippie.
So JJ, congratulations.
Put a flower in it.
JJ, who identifies as male, 1. Kevin O'Sullivan, who identifies as grumpy, 0. Well, that was great, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that. If you did, there's lots more like it. Have a look over here.